Take care of everything they need. In the sweet by and by on the first, there's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar, for the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. On the left, to our bountiful Father above, we will offer our tribute of praise for the glorious gift of His love. God of blessing that hallow our days. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on a beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Amen. I always think of the first quartet that I sang. That was the first one that we sang. And Sweet by and by. Uh, it's not always we get to see a church planter. And a church planter in many effects is just like a mission. It's kind of like our church. Our church 8 years ago crossed a big divide where the pastor was leaving and the pastor could have just left. Well, that's what he did, just left. But we could have merged with another church. But have we done that? There's 75 people that wouldn't have got saved. There's 75 people, and then many, many more that have made decisions that would have never have happened had we not stayed. And I praise the Lord for that. Now, Brother Butler, and it is with the T, Brother Butler, does everyone have and you'll get to see, I'm going to let him do all this. This is really amazing. God blessed him. As a dad, to remember dates, he has got it made. I mean, I had 3, and they were all different. And our birthdays are different, our anniversary is different, but he's really got a, God blessed him. So he doesn't have to worry about too many dates as God blessed him with many kids. But I'm looking forward to hearing from him. He's going to give a little testimony about where he's going, about his family, and then he's going to preach to us. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be at the location God called us this coming July 1st. And he's preaching for the first Sunday next Sunday in his own home church. Amen.
Well, thank you all for allowing me to be here today and kind of present our work. If you turn in your Bibles to 1 Corinthians 3, that's where we're going to be. And we'll be there in just a minute. 1 Corinthians 3, where we'll be at this morning. So as he was sharing, as far as our birthdays and such, if you look at our prayer card, I have 2 kids that were born on June 21st, 2 born on March 21st, and 1 on March 31st. So it kind of makes things easier. I didn't share this with you, but our anniversary there, it says, is August 13th, and my wife's family made it really easy because we have our anniversary is on the 13th, her brother's is on the 12th, and her other sister's on the 15th. So they're all within 3 days of each other. Different years, but they're all the same, all August.
Well, birthdays is what got me.
So it makes it easier for me to remember birthdays. Other than the one, Joel, he was born in November 27th, threw everything off, and whatnot. So, anyways, that is what it is. So we're going to to Washington, Utah, to kind of re-church plant. There is a church there. There's about 20 members, and we're going to be taking over that church. And it's near St. George. I've ever been out that way, and between Washington and St. George, there's over 100,000 people there that need the Lord. It's Mormon country. The area where we're going to be at is about 60% Mormon. So it is very Mormon. It's not as much as Salt Lake City, but there is a lot of Mormon. So we're going to be in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. That's just a little bit about me. But 1 Corinthians chapter 3 is where we're going to be at this morning. And we will do a little bit of flipping, so back and forth here and there. So keep your spot in 1 Corinthians 3 if I have you go elsewhere. The title of my message this morning is what kind of legacy are you leaving? What kind of legacy are you leaving? And we're going to read here 1 Corinthians chapter 3. We're going to start in verse 7. It says, "So then neither is he that planted anything." Actually, go to verse 6. "I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So that neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watered, but God that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward, according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building. According to the grace of God which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another builds thereon. But let every man take heed how he builds thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood-based stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest. For the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you?" Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for just allowing me to be here and share the burden of our ministry, Lord. I just ask that you would be with this service, and you would just bless the preaching, guide my thoughts, and you would just use this to encourage, to help, to do what you would have in the hearts and lives of people here today. I ask that you would just bless the day. In Jesus' name, amen. Back in 1980, there was a company that started, and on the first day it went public, it traded for $1.2 billion. In 1985, the CEO of that company resigned, and later in 1997, he rejoined up with that company and made it what it is today. In 2011, he died, and today there is a website that is attributed to him. That company is the Apple Computer Company, and his name is Steve Jobs. And most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Steve Jobs. He and the Apple Company created Apple products, anywhere from an iPhone. I don't know if anyone has an iPhone, i1, or an iPad, or a Mac computer. And on that website, though, there's over 1 million people. Now, this was a few years ago when I actually looked up the statistic. There's over 1 million people that have posted about him. And one such person put, quote, "Thank you so much. You changed our world. You changed our communication. You changed our life. You changed our dream. You changed our common sense," end quote. And what I want to talk to you today is this man changed the world in the communication sense. What are we doing to change our community, to change our world for Jesus Christ? What kind of legacy are we leaving? So today we're going to look at 3 truths about leaving a right legacy, or leaving a legacy for God. First of all, we need to have the right foundation. In verse 10 and 11, it says, "According to the grace of God, which giveth unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereupon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ." We all need to have a foundation in Jesus Christ. If we don't have a foundation in Jesus Christ, all in vain. it's worthless. We need to have a strong foundation. There's a song that goes, "How firm a foundation." We need to have that foundation in Jesus Christ. If we don't have that foundation, then we're on our way to hell. And so, first of all, if you're not saved, that's the first thing I would challenge you today, is to make that right with God. Jesus, He loves us, He died for us, He came. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life." We need to have that right foundation, that foundation on Him. I don't know if anyone in here is a builder that builds things. I have somewhat of a little bit of a building background. And with a house or a building, the foundation is everything. If you don't have a right foundation, if you don't have a secure foundation, you can build whatever you want, but it's not going to last. In the city of Dubai, there is a building there. It's the world's tallest building. It rises more than 2,700 feet above the world. It has 160 floors. The building is twice the size of the Empire State Building. Have you ever seen the Empire State Building? That's a massive building. I saw it once when I was in New York. It is twice the size of that. It is home to the world's fastest elevator. It goes 40 miles an hour. An elevator. It has the world's highest swimming pool, which is on the 76th floor. And it has the world's highest outdoor observation deck on the 124th floor. Just imagine walking up there and looking down 124 floors. But the thing about this building is, yes, it's very tall, it has these things, but it would never last if it wasn't for the foundation. For the first year before this building ever started going up, they had to dig down into the ground. They poured 58,900 cubic yards of concrete that weighed over 110,000 tons to secure this foundation. And they said if it wasn't for this foundation, this building would never last. And that's the way our lives are. Without Jesus Christ, if we don't have that, our lives are worthless and they'll never last. But we need to have that secure and stable foundation that is found only in Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let's turn over to Matthew 7. Matthew 7. Matthew chapter 7. And we're going to be at verse 24 there. Matthew chapter 7. Starting in verse 24. It says, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine," he's talking about Jesus Christ is talking, and he says, "and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which builded his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which builded his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And it came to pass, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as scribes." As we see there, he talks about basically people that listen to his words and do them are like a man that builds his house on a rock. Build a house upon that secure foundation. If we build a house upon sand, it's not going to last. Where I'm from the Midwest, and up there, we dig down. Generally, we have basements. Out here, I don't know about in LA and Lancaster, like no one has basements. They pour a slab and put it on a slab. But up there, we normally dig out, we put block walls, and we make that foundation secure. We don't just build on the dirt and just hope it's going to last, because it's not going to. So we need to have that firm foundation that's in Jesus Christ, just like we need to have a firm foundation when we're going to build something. So first of all, having that right foundation. But second of all, we need to seek the right rewards. We need to seek the right rewards. Verse 12 through 15 says, "Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, and stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work, what sort it is. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So like I said, that first step is having that foundation in Jesus Christ. The second one is seeking the right rewards. We can seek the right rewards. It kind of says here that there's different rewards that are given out. There's gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, and stubble, depending on what we do in this life. But everything's going to be tried by fire. When we stand before God, there's going to be that day where He judges the things that we do in this life. In 2 Corinthians 5, 8 through 10, it talks about the judgment seat of Christ. It says that we're all going to stand before Him. And the things that are done in this life are going to be tried. Fire is something that consumes. I enjoy fire. It's not like light a match, but and just watch it burn. Kind of enjoy fire, but I enjoy going out and having a bonfire and roasting marshmallows, having s'mores, that kind of thing. But fire is something that if to start a fire, you normally put paper in, you put wood in, and fire will burn that stuff up. Back when I was in college the first time, back in 2005, I got a call one day that our house had caught on fire. And it burned completely to the ground. And that's like our works here. If we do works that amount to wood, hay, and stubble, it's just going to be burned up. It only took a matter of 20 minutes and that house was just about gone. Just like that, our works, if it's not what God has for us, it will be burned up as well. But we have the right rewards there, the gold, silver, and precious stones. In Romans 14, verse 10 and 12, it says, But why dost thou judge thy brother? Or why dost thou set at naught by thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ, so that every one of us shall give an account of himself to God. What are we doing in this life that when we stand before God will last in the fire that our works will be burned up in, or tried by? Gold and silver, I don't know tons about it, other than it's worth a lot of money, depending on the year and the time. But gold and silver are tried by fire, and they're made pure by sitting in that fire and burning, and it melts all the impurities away. And so when we get to heaven and we stand before God, He's going to put the works that we've done on this earth into that fire, and they're either going to melt away and reveal this gold, silver, precious stones and make it pure, or it's going to burn up in that fire. In 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24, you can look over there. We'll read that real quick. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Paul kind of gives a description, a little bit about kind of what this judgment seat will look like. In verse 24, 1 Corinthians 9, 24, it says, Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so one that ye may obtain. Every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible crown. I therefore so run, not as in certainty, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it unto subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Here he's talking about running a race and receiving a prize. And in those days, they had a thing called the Bema seat, judgment seat, and it was a platform, and that's kind of what it's going to be like when we stand before God. And there, they run a race so that they can receive this crown. Except for that crown was, it was normally made out of leaves. It was kind of wrapped up, but it was something that over time would basically rot and decay and waste away. And he says there that they ran for a corruptible crown, but we're running for an incorruptible crown. And so the things that we do on this life hopefully will last for eternity. The people that we see saved, that's something that will last for eternity. The things that we do for Christ, the way we help in church and reach others, is things that will last for eternity. What are we doing that we can see the right rewards when we get to heaven? So first of all, we have to have that proper foundation. We have the right foundation. Second of all, we need to seek the right rewards. And third, we need to make the right impact. Back to verse 10, it says, according to the grace of God, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereupon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. See, it's a personal decision on what we do in this life. No one else can make that decision to get saved. No one else can make that decision to do things for God. No one else can make that decision to go soul winning. It's a personal decision that we have to make. And it's something that, if we make the right decisions now, we can impact this world far long after we're gone. I don't know how many of you here have kids. I obviously see some children here. I have some kids. And the legacy that I leave for them is something that could last for generations to come if I leave the right legacy. Many people, like Steve Jobs, work for money and work for pleasure, work for prestige. And those things, when they're gone, they're left, they're gone. But we can leave a legacy that reaches the next generation for Christ. And it's the things that we do in this life that will matter. In Matthew 6, we'll turn over there, Matthew 6. In verse 19, Matthew chapter 6, and verse 19. Says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where's the treasure that we have? What are we leaving for the next generation? There was a man by the name of Sir Nicholas Winton that lived back in the 1940s, and he started a rescue mission for Jews in the Holocaust. And throughout the years of the war, he helped save 669 people from going to the Nazi death camps. When the war was over, he ended up coming to America, and he kind of left that life behind him, kind of didn't really talk about it much, didn't really share. But in 1988, his wife found a scrapbook that contained the list of names of the people that he saved in World War II. Little did he know they had a celebration kind of in his honor. He didn't know this, but they brought him to this assembly hall, and they had actually gotten in contact with most of the 669 people that he saved. And at this kind of celebration thing, they kind of hid it from him the reason why he was there. But towards the end, they recognized him for saving people in World War II, and they asked everyone that was saved because of him to stand. And you just see a sea of people stand up. Almost all 669 people came to recognize him for saving their lives from Nazi death camps. This is something that was great. I mean, 669 people saved, but who are we seeing saved for eternity? We need to reach the people around us with the gospel of Christ. There's a quote that says, how we live our lives is better than how long we live our lives. We don't know how long we'll live on this earth. I'm sure everyone can tell stories. I know a guy that I went to college with that he flew to New York, and on his way back 2 weeks from graduation, he ran out of fuel over top of Lake Michigan and died at the age of 21. We can all probably account for different people, children, all the way up to 20s, 30s, whatever you want to say. We don't know how long we'll last. We don't know when God will call us home, when that will happen. So we need to live our lives so that when we stand before God, we can't say, well, if I would have had another 30 years, I would have done something for you. We need to look at how we're building upon this foundation that Jesus Christ has already laid. In Matthew 16, verse 24 through 28, this was shared in Sunday school, but a really good verse. Matthew 16. Verse 24 through 28 says, Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take his cross, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? That verse there, what is a profit if we gain the whole world but we'll lose our own soul? But also, we can kind of take that verse and say, what is a profit if we gain the whole world but we don't see anyone else saved for Christ? We need to reach those around us with the gospel of Christ. The message here is simple. We need to have the right foundation. We need to have that foundation in Jesus Christ. We need to seek those right rewards. Something that's going to last for eternity. Something that when we stand before Jesus Christ, He'll say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. We also need to make the right impact. We need to leave a legacy for the next generation behind us. There's a song that goes like this. It says, Could it be that up in heaven God is sitting on His throne, anticipating another sinner will soon become His own? Years of wasted living and years of toil and strife are just about to be over as He receives the gift of life. Go sound the horn, strike up the choir, the sinner saved, saved from the fire. No more in darkness, you receive my Son. All heaven's rejoicing, that's the value of one. There's much value in even one soul that comes to know the Lord as their Savior. As Pastor was saying, that over the last little while, 75 people saved. And if this church would have merged with another one, that's 75 souls that might not have ever heard the gospel. We need to reach those around us in our communities, the people that we see each and every day, the people we work with. We need to reach those with the message of Jesus Christ. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for just allowing me to be able to share what you've laid on my heart, Lord. I just ask that you would be with each and every one of us as we go throughout this life, the short life that you've given to us, that we would make an impact for eternity, that we would make an impact in someone else's life, that we would reach others with the gospel of Christ, that they can have the home in heaven with you. Lord, I just ask that you would be with those in here, that if there is anyone that's not saved, I don't know many of the people in here, that you would just work in their lives. I just ask that you would be with those that are, that they would be seeking the right rewards and seeking the right legacy, that you would just help us to reach the next generation for your Lord. I ask this in Jesus' name.
Father, I close. God knows exactly what we need every time. And we think about, as we think